So, I got home not too long ago. About, I want to say an hour ago, maybe. And throughout the day I had read a story, and I took this last little bit to look up whether or not it was true. There's no real good way of going about talking about this story, but I feel like I need to say something. And unfortunately, this is how it's going to be done. As most of you know, if you've watched my channel the last couple of days, you know that I recently moved from Denver to Lawrence, Kansas. I'm originally from Denver. So the story that I'm about to talk about is very hard-hitting at home for me for multiple reasons. What I'm talking about is the cheerleading, I want to say scandal, coming out of Denver, out of East Denver High School. It's sickening. It's disgusting. And I don't know how else to put it. I'll probably play a clip of it here so that you can see what I'm talking about.
You're gonna make it worse. Stop me.
The story was really broke by the 9 News Investigative Reporting Department, which, good on them, honestly. This is probably one of the most important stories that they will cover in the near future. Forget about like national stuff. Locally speaking, this is a major story that they need to be covering. And I'm pretty sure this story is going to get national attention. So I'm beyond appalled by this. The story goes that girl who is an incoming freshman at Denver East went to a cheerleading training camp thing for them, and they tried to force her to do the splits. Now, the video is sad and, in my opinion, disgusting to watch. It is gross and it is disgusting for me to watch, and it's unfortunate that it had to come to this. From some of the stories that I've seen, they're reporting that she tore ligaments in her body, and she has to actually see a physical therapist for 2 to 4 sessions. I've had to do that before. Physical therapy is no joke, and it's expensive. That's the other thing. It's unfortunate that she has to go through that for this. Cheerleading shouldn't be that deep, if that makes sense, especially high school cheerleading. I say cheerleading, no sport should be that way. In reality, this story is disgusting. She should not have been made to do the splits beyond her natural ability. So in this video, you can tell she's screaming out, "Please stop." She's screaming out, "Please stop, please stop, please stop." She says it 9 times, which is an absurd amount for a 13-year-old to be saying at a camp for a sport that she loves. It's unfortunate. The coach, he's widely respected in the Denver community, mostly because he is well known for being a Denver cheerleader and working with the Denver cheerleading squad. And it's really unfortunate that he had to go and do something like this. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, well, she should have known, blah, blah, blah. She shouldn't have known jack all right? She shouldn't have known jack crap about what was gonna happen to her, and this guy deserves to rot. He should not, honestly, if I were the Denver Broncos, if I were the Denver Broncos PR team, this would disqualify him from his job. There's video evidence. There's interviews from parents and the child, and there's more videos of more children having this happen, and it's stupid. Now, this is the second video that I have seen where parents and children have come out and said, okay, coaches aren't treating student athletes correctly. The first one that I saw was from the high school that I went to as a freshman in Knoxville, Tennessee at Hardin Valley Academy. This one did not make national news, and it was mostly because it didn't seem like it had a lot of traction to it. But with this coming up, I feel like I have to put more light to it. So this has to do with their baseball team over there. Or the head coach during a game saw that a lot of the players were kind of shying away from being hit by a baseball, which honestly, I don't blame them. Being hit by a baseball myself, I've had it happen more than a few times. Not pleasant, especially when you're at bat. 90 miles an hour to your back or to your leg or anything, it hurts. It does hurt, and it does take some time to get over, but you do get over it. Very rarely does it actually break anything, but it does hurt and it doesn't feel good. And your initial reaction is going to be to avoid it, of course, right? So what he did was he said, okay, during this practice, what we're going to do is we're going to throw softballs at you. And we're going to try and make it so that you don't shy away and you take those hits. Because truth be told, it's a vital part of the game. If you can work the count to where he has to throw inside at you and he ends up hitting you, you get a free base. And for me, running the bases was part of the fun for me. And anytime I could get a walk or I could get a free base because it wasn't under my accord, I would take it. That was the philosophy. And that's really baseball's philosophy. So what he did was he took like tennis balls or training balls, something with not the density of a baseball or a softball. You know, softball is misleading. It's very much not soft. And baseballs are tinier and harder and heavier. So they have a little bit more inertia, a little bit more mass. So they hurt a little bit more when you get hit by them. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. So when you get hit by a baseball, it hurts. They were throwing soft and training balls at them. Balls that don't hurt. And like tennis balls, I mean, you get hit by tennis balls all the time. If you've ever played a game of like wiffle ball with a tennis ball, and you take one, I mean, it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't hurt in reality. And that's what they were doing with these kids. And yeah, that was that whole practice. Well, a mom decided to bring up pictures that she believed had been sustained during this practice with her child to Hardin Valley Academy, and they ended up putting both the baseball head coach and the assistant coach on administrative paid leave while they did investigating, and they got Child Protective Services involved and everything. I think it was either last month or at the end of June, Child Protective Services said that they were not in the wrong here. They found that what they were doing was non-invasive to the athlete's health, and overall did not believe that it put them in a compromising situation where it could either cause major harm or even death. They didn't believe that those two things could happen from what was happening. And they do not believe, through their investigation, that these coaches should be fired or even like tried for child abuse. So come to find out now, about a week after that decision was made by CSP or CPS, they put in a defamation lawsuit against this parent, and it's a major defamation lawsuit. They're both seeking $3 million apiece, making the defamation lawsuit $6 million total. Their child doesn't go to HVA anymore. He goes to a Knoxville Christian. And in the report from the CPS, you can see that he said that the bruise was most likely sustained from a previous at-bat. It was sustained in-game when he had taken a ball to the bat. With high school sports, you sign a waiver to where if there's an injury that's inadvertently caused, you can't sue the school, you can't sue parents, you can't sue the kid for causing. In the decision with Denver East, that is 100% suable, and it should be. I'm surprised these parents have not looked for any legal guidance on this at all. Especially when you look at it and they sit there and they say that their emails were ignored, everything was ignored from these people. So it's unfortunate and sad to see. I wanted to put a video out there and say, you know what, this needs to stop. Denver Public School, make a statement. There's evidence everywhere. I know you have to do an investigation, but do your due diligence. Look at these videos and see the pain that these people are in. Make the right decision. Don't make us come out and riot. Don't make us come out and protest you because you made a bad decision or you made a poor decision. Please, for the love of God, make the decision that you need to make in order to be able to keep the kids safe. That's all this boils down to, is keeping kids safe. And if that means that you need to fire the greatest cheerleading coach in all of Denver, fire the greatest cheerleading coach in all of Denver. Because in reality, and I'm really sorry for the people who watch my videos and expect great language, but this guy is an actual shit stain in Denver. And he should not be in schools doing cheerleading camps like this. Because if that's the way that he's going to teach these kids, then he should be forced to do these things as well. I have no respect for this man whatsoever. The Denver Broncos, Denver East High School, and Denver Public Schools need to make a decision on this guy. Denver East needs to look at their faculty and figure out why in the hell they did not answer to the parents' calls. In Denver Public Schools, you need to make a decision on that. Because that is unacceptable. Especially in a public school setting. I do not send my taxes to you so that you can hurt children. That's not the point.